You're not going to believe this. The United States has been buying Greenland since January, quietly, politely, with meetings. Okay. And this week, the guy buying it flew to Turkey and blew the entire deal up on live television, set it on fire, his own closing on purpose in front of witnesses. And I'm going to tell you why he did it. I'm going to give you the stock that goes with it, name, ticker, everything right here, free of charge, because apparently I'm the only person in media who thinks you should actually know things. But first, you got to understand how empires work, folks, because nobody teaches this on school on purpose. Nobody even announces an empire. Ever notice that? There's no press release, no ribbon cutting, no guy with giant scissors. And you know what you get instead? Paperwork, all right? An empire is a mugging that hired a lawyer. That's all it is. Same mugging, better vocabulary. Because a real empire never says it wants your stuff. Never. That's amateur hour. That's a guy in a ski mask. No, no, no. A real empire says it's concerned. Oh, it's very concerned. It has legitimate security interests. It's not taking your island. It's protecting your island from the terrible possibility that somebody else might take your island, which it happens to be standing on right now, holding a memo. That's what languages war is for, folks. And I've been telling you this for years. Language isn't telling you things, it's keeping you from noticing things. Watch how it works. You take a big, ugly word like annexation. Annexation. That word comes with tanks. That word has a body count. You feed it into the machine, and out comes strategic partnership. Same act, same island, same 56,000 people who didn't get a vote on this. And now it got a nice haircut and it went to Georgetown. Okay, here's the story. I'm Charlie Garcia. This is Capital Mischief. 185 days ago, a woman tweets a word, all caps, soon. Who cares, right? It's a tweet. Except this woman is married to the guy who writes the actual policy in the White House. So that's not a citizen posting from her couch. That's a trial balloon with a wedding wing on it. And everybody laughed. I laughed. I also started counting the days. And this week, day 185, the phone rang 3 times, and every call was worse than the silent. Call number 1, a Ukrainian newspaper reports the United States has found justification for acquiring Greenland. Found, not considered, not explored, found. Like your car keys, they were there the whole time, folks. Somebody finally checked under the couch and found them. And then the memo grew a voice. A senior official on the record into a microphone says the only solution we have found is the United States acquiring Greenland. The only solution. You know what else gets described as the only solution? Everything that ends badly. No one in history ever said the only solution and then everybody went out for pancakes. Never. And here's the part that really should scare you. In January, wanting Greenland was one man's personality, one guy's thing, like a hobby. Some guys collect stamps. Now, it's a filing system. There's a memo. There's talking points. There's a cleared official saying acquiring Greenland in the tone of a man refinancing his garage. The bluff got nationalized, folks, and that matters because a man can get bored. A bureaucracy can never get bored. A bureaucracy can only lose funding, and of course that never happens. And nobody is cutting this budget line. Call number 2, NATO summit, Turkey, day 1. The president sits next down to Erdogan, cameras rolling, and says Greenland should be controlled by the United States. And then, same breath, no comma, we should remove all our soldiers from Europe. The island and the withdrawal wedded together, one sentence. Now, think about how weird that is. Every empire in history threatened to show up. This one threatens to leave. That's brand new, folks. That's innovation. We finally found something America still manufactures: menace, threats. So call number 3 never rang at all, which was the whole point. Denmark has thrown the biggest 4th of July party outside of America every single year since 1912. 2 world wars, a pandemic, didn't matter. 114 years of Danes standing in a field singing Springsteen back at us, which, by the way, is adorable. This year, our 250th birthday, they took the American officials off the guest list. No speech, no statement. Somebody just crossed off some names off a spreadsheet and let the spreadsheet do the talking. And in the deal business, that is the softest possible no. And the softest no is the best no because it means the other side is too embarrassed to say the hard one. Embarrassed sellers close on Tuesday, folks. Write that down. Now, quick. A man demanded an island on camera at a NATO summit this week, and the entire American press corps decided the story was the seating chart. The seating chart. That's why you're hearing this from me. So hit subscribe on this channel right now and go subscribe to Capital Mischief on Substack, link below. Free gets you smarter at dinner. Paid gets you smarter at your brokerage account. Your call. I know which one pays for dinner. All right. Now, the part nobody is covering. While all that theater was going on, the actual deal has been closing since January. There's a working group, America, Denmark, Greenland, no shit, in a room every month. Denmark's foreign minister says he expects a solution by the end of the year. Our Secretary of State, Rubio, told Congress the talks are, quote, in a good place. Monthly meetings, a deadline, a good place. Folks, that is a deal in escrow. They're picking out curtains. So now I ask the only question that matters. If your deal is already closing, why fly to Turkey and blow it up on camera? Because the explosion isn't for the deal. The deal didn't need it. The explosion is for everybody else. This is Donald Trump. It's the oldest move in real estate. You blow up the terms at the final walkthrough, not to kill the deal, to make the other side grateful, weepingly grateful to sign the original terms. Whatever Denmark thought it was giving up last month just became the reasonable option. And by Thursday, base expansion and mineral rights will feel like Copenhagen's idea. They'll think they won. He doesn't want the island, folks. He never wanted the island. He wants a deal that's already closing to look like a conquest instead of a contract. The difference isn't terms, it's the noise. And the noise is the product. Meanwhile, Denmark, oh, Denmark, chess players have a word for Denmark's situation. Sugswang. It's German, so you know it's bad. It means every legal move you have makes your position worse. You're not in check. It's worse than check. You are personally in charge of your own slow death. Watch. Denmark tried move 1. Gets Greenland its own Olympic team. Sovereignty laundering in a tracksuit. Honestly, clever. The Olympic Committee says no. Teams have to represent recognized independent states. So a Swiss sports bureaucracy just ruled that Greenland is exactly as Danish as Washington's memo needs it to be. Congratulations. You played yourself in biathlon. Move 2 shows up by invitation. China's foreign minister tours Scandinavia. First visit to Denmark in 15 years. Meets the king, and then I swear this happened. He rides the rides at Tivoli Gardens with Denmark's foreign minister. The foreign minister of the People's Republic of China at an amusement park 4 days before a NATO summit where America demands his host's territory. I don't know which ride they went on. I think it was the one that goes in circles for symbolism. And in the official Chinese statement, one sentence written by a lawyer, China supports Denmark in safeguarding its territorial integrity. Beijing just offered Copenhagen in writing the exact sentence Washington commissioned an entire memo to avoid saying. Let that sink in. The communists are quoting the UN Charter, and we've got a guy with a PDF. And Denmark can't take the offer, can't even lean towards it, because the second Denmark leans 1 inch towards China, it proves Washington's whole case, which is that Denmark can't keep Greenland away from China. The defense against the accusation is the thing that makes the accusation stick. Every move loses. That's suckswang, folks. And when your opponent's in suckswang, you don't talk, you wait. Waiting is the move. China's really good at waiting. They've been waiting for 1,000 years. We can't wait for a frickin' microwave. Now, 4 days, get a pen. This is the informative part. July 20, that's basically in like 11 days, the new tariffs self-destruct at 150 days unless Congress votes to keep them. A recorded vote, names attached, 4 months before the midterms. Congress has spent 18 months at the beach on this, but in 12 days, the beach gets repossessed. November 10, China's rare earth expert weapon comes off suspension, and it can snap back with no notice. Every iPhone, every jet fighter, every MRI machine, and Beijing's been warming up, arresting engineers, detaining a CEO for calling germanium lenses ordinary glass, and my personal favorite, they opened a hotline where citizens can report suspected mineral smugglers. A snitch line for rocks. Think about that. We can't get people to use a turn signal in the United States, and China has civilians ratting each other out over dysprosium. January 1, new Pentagon rule. 0 Chinese rare earths in the defense supply chain. 0. Meanwhile, Greenland's mines are 10 years from shipping a single rock. Those numbers don't meet, folks. They were never going to meet, and that is why the memo exists. Then, December 31st, the quiet one, the working group's own deadline, least covered, most binding. That's the one where the fancy partnership gets a name, which brings us to the money. Because here's what the market is doing while all 4 clocks tick. It prices the minerals by the hour. MP Materials fell 13% in June on a Chinese blacklist. But annexation demands at a NATO summit, troop withdrawal threats, background radio, one war priced hourly, one war priced never. The gap is the trade, and the name is Linus Rare Earth. LYC in Sydney, LYSCF over the counter here. For 30 years, the West decided mining was dirty and refining was somebody else's problem, and that somebody else should be a one-party state with a long memory and a short temper. Great plan, fellas. Then everybody checked the periodic table and discovered the missiles, the wind turbines, the iPhone you use to complain about wind turbines, all run on 17 elements China quietly cornered. Out of that panic walks Linus, the only producer of separated heavy rare earths outside of China, the only one on Earth, profit up 13-fold in 6 months. It charges a 15 to 20% premium for the crime of not being Chinese. Virtue has a spot price now, folks, and it's sitting on $1 billion in cash, plus Pentagon money. And when your customer wears a uniform and prints the currency, your downside comes with a mattress under it. And Monday, it dropped 6% on Malaysian environmental noise. Nothing to do with any of this. The mispriced war went on sale. But hear me. It's one company strapped to one commodity price that got cut in half in China and came back inside of 3 years, and the CEO just handed over the wheel. So own it as an anchor, not a lottery ticket. Buy the shovel makers, never buy the ice. How am I sizing it? The second position, Washington cannot let fail, and the full risk sheet. That's on Substack. Capital Mischief, $2 a day, and the people who pay for it are never the ones surprised by the news. Subscribe to this channel too, because the first clock goes off in 11 days, and I'll be sitting right here. One last thing, no jokes. 56,000 people live on that island, Greenland, and they weren't in the room for any of this. Not the tweet, not the memo, not the working group. This week, their foreign minister posted one sentence, no lawyer, no footnotes, no snitch line. Greenland's future is up to its people. That's how it has always been, and that's how it will always be. I've read all the paperwork, folks. That's the only sentence in the whole file I'd bet on being true in 50 years. She said soon. She was right. She just never said whose calendar she was reading. There are 4 of them now, and the man with the loudest one still doesn't want the island. His government now does. And governments, unlike men, never, ever change the subject. May the mischief be with you. I'm Charlie Garcia.